Right, ladies and gentlemen, this is a preview of the Reds Champions League game against Midtjylland, a Danish side, and look, they are rather unknown to most of us if we're being honest about it. One of those clubs that we've heard the name mentioned, but I'm not going to lie, have I ever seen them play? Nope, not once. And the only information I really have about them is what I've read recently and very recently. They lost 4-0 to Atalanta, I believe, in the first stage at home. The first group stage game, at home. What to read into that, I don't know. Maybe Atlanta had a good day, they were a good attacking side. Maybe Midtjylland had a poor day, I really don't know. But a Champions League group stage game at home at Anfield, I'm expecting a Liverpool win, which is why you can see my score prediction below there goes for a 3-0 victory. I'm going to take you through my starting 11 now in a second, but I want to give you guys a bit of a warning. You're probably not going to like the starting 11 that I've gone with for this game, but let me explain my reasoning before you all call me a clown, because I understand this is going to probably shock a few people, but there is some thought behind it. So without further ado, let me take you through my predicted starting 11, and then I'll explain to you why I've gone with this. Right, so here you go. Here's my predicted 11. In goal, Alisson. I don't think we've any arguments with that. I think everyone will be sound. At right back, Trent Alexander-Arnold. At left back, Robbo. I was tempted to give Jimmy Milner a run at left back and give Robbo a rest, but I've used Milner in midfield, as you can see, so I'm going to have to go with Robbo. Not that I have any complaints about going with Robbo, but these players do need a rest every now and again. So Robbo at left back, Trent at right back, centre back pairing, Joe Gomez and Firmino. Matip isn't fit, so that almost picks itself. Then we get into midfield, and this is where the decisions got a bit slimmer. So I'm going for Jordan Henderson, Gini Wijnaldum and James Milner. I think it'll be an industrious midfield trio. Wouldn't mind seeing Curtis Jones in there, but after being pulled off in 45 minutes in the first game, I wonder if the gaffer's just thinking, introduce him back in slowly. So midfield for me, Captain Jordan Henderson, James Milner and Gini Wijnaldum. Now, this is where the shock comes in. Look at my front three. I've got no Mohamed Salah, no Sadio Mane, no Roberto Firmino. I'd love to see us go and give Diogo Jota, Takumi Minamino and Shaqiri a start here and try and give the front three a rest. You can have them on the bench, bring them on if necessary if the game needs changing, but I'd love to see what these guys can do. I'd like to see them maybe bang in a couple of goals and get their confidence up. Shaqiri looked sharp when he came on recently, and this is all about just rotating and resting the players ahead of what is a very busy schedule. We've got West Ham coming up on Saturday as well. It's a quick turnaround from the weekend, Saturday to Tuesday, not much time for the players to rest and recuperate. So that's what I've gone with for my starting 11. Again, I think it's going to be a handy enough home win for the Reds. Not being disrespectful to Midtjylland, but you should be looking to win your home games in the Champions League. And look, when the draw was made, we all looked at this and thought that should be a handy home win. So I'm going to back that up. Going to go for a 3-0 win for the Reds. Let me know your thoughts on my predicted 11. If you're watching this back later on, I'd love to know your thoughts in the comment section. I know a lot of people are going to look at that front three and go, he's what now? But I did try and explain to you my reasoning behind it. I do like to try and get the players rested and rotated because they've had a bit of a stop-start pre-season, a shorter pre-season than normal. Last season went on a little bit longer. There's the Euros and stuff coming up in the summer. So these players are going to need to be managed throughout the season. And what's the point in us going out there and bringing in the likes of Diogo Jota, Takumi Minamino, if we're not going to give them an opportunity? Because I think their performances have deserved one. Now, do I think Mohamed Salah and Sadio Mane should be dropped? Absolutely not. This is just about rotation, and as I said, if the game isn't going our way, we know we can make 5 substitutions in the Champions League, 9 players on the bench, have Salah on there, have Mane on there, have Bobby Firmino on there, Curtis Jones and whoever. Let's see if we can affect the game. One more decision that I was thinking about, and again, I'd love to know your thoughts on this. I was looking at the centre-back pairing and thinking, alright, I'd like to give somebody a rest here. And I was pondering maybe playing young Reece Williams alongside either Joe Gomez or Fabinho. Probably Fabinho, if I'm being honest with you. But I think maybe, as much as I'd like to see it, I think maybe it might be one risk too far with the 11 that I've gone with. Now, I'm not saying that this is the 11 I think Klopp was going to go with. This is just my take on the game. And again, I love Champions League nights at Anfield. This should be a handy enough win for the Reds, but nothing is ever straightforward in the Champions League, so we're going to have to wait and see what happens tomorrow night. But look, should be looking to pick up these 3 points. That would then have us on 6 points. Obviously a home and away game coming up then, or an away and a home game I think coming up against Atalanta, and that's going to be difficult. So it is rather important that we make sure we get the full 6 out of 6 for the first 2 games before we go into them. And look, if you offered me 4 points now home and away against Atalanta, I'd probably take that, and that would, almost see us through. 1 home win then and we'd be on the road. So look, what do we think, ladies and gents? Anthony Davies said front 3 worth a go. Liz Golden said with 5 stubs we could start strong on and sub early. Yes, but the reasoning I've gone for this, Liz, is that if it goes to plan and if Jadon bags himself a goal or we're a few up, then we won't need to give the lads a run and we can give them a rest completely and have them nice and fresh and ready to go for the game against West Ham at the weekend. And it would really put pressure on the front 3 to up their levels because they know that the guys right in behind them are ready to go. That's my take on it anyway, folks. Joanne said, I like it, Craig. Could Neko at right back? The defence needs to play together, said Dave Smith. Yeah, look, again, if Neko was to get a run at right back, I wouldn't really mind that either. I could understand if the gaffer wanted to give one of the fullbacks a rest here because Trent and Robbo are going to play a hell of a lot of games this season. Obviously, Kostas Tsimikas is working his way back to fitness, and maybe when he's ready then we'll see him get an opportunity at left back to give Robbo that bit of a break. Rob LFC said Jota has to start to gain more confidence. He doesn't look like he's lacking confidence, mate, by the way. He's certainly playing himself into form, and look, Liverpool fans are rightly starting to love this guy straight away, as well as Taki as well. They're both looking like they're on it. And again, somebody who I have to be honest and said I never thought would make it at Liverpool and still wouldn't be one of my favourite players in the world, but somebody who seems to be full of confidence at the minute, and that's Shaqiri. I'd love to see him get a 90 minutes and see what he can do. Why not? Give the guy a chance. No Origi, said John Dunn. No, not for me, mate. Origi has fallen right down my list of strikers. I would have him 7th, probably. I mean, even behind Shaqiri as an attacking player. Look, if the gaffer decides to start Divock through the centre, maybe has Takumi Minamino on the right hand side, Diogo Jota on the left hand side, not going to complain about that. Love Divock, love all of our players, but that's the 11 that I'd like to see us go with. Love to see more of Curtis Jones, said John Dunn. We will, mate, as the season goes on. I'd still love to know more about that substitution at half-time in Ajax when Hendo came on. It seemed to be that it was something that was pre-planned because the sports science and the medical department told the gaffer that Hendo couldn't do a full 90, so 45 was the best that he could do, coming back from injury, obviously, and hadn't played some games. Someone said voice in the chat and I went, completely distracted. I like your video, said Nosheen. Thank you. Appreciate that. And let me just switch back over to the normal studio anyway. But that's the 11 that I would go with. Again, let me show you just one more time for those maybe coming in late. Alisson in goal, Trent Alexander-Arnold at right back, centre-back pairing of Fabinho, Joe Gomez, and of course Robbo at left back. Midfield trio, Jordan Henderson, Gini Wijnaldum and James Milner. And then up front, Shaqiri on the right, Minamino through the centre, and Diogo Jota on the left hand side. Again, of course, we know that Thiago's very close to fitness, so we should have him coming up for the weekend's game against West Ham. So look, again, let me know your thoughts. I'm going to swap back over now to the other studio and give you guys a bit of information from El Capitan Jordan Henderson.